Welcome to the Streamer Roundtable, a podcast for beginning and veteran broadcasters covering various topics throughout the streaming universe. We're going to start today with the zero viewer problematic. That is having zero viewers, the mental toll that takes. How do you start? What do you do if there's no one there to talk to? How do you conduct your stream? What is happening? We will have two guests joining us. We're going to have a very new broadcaster that is still versed in the streaming universe and a longer lasting Twitch partner who's been there for quite a while already. And we're going to talk with both of them about all the implications and stuff around the zero viewer problematic that a lot of new broadcasters, but also older broadcasters have on Twitch. My name is Ponyhoff. I'm going to be your host. I'm going to be leading you through the whole podcast. Enjoy this episode. It's the very first one. It's our premiere. It's our episode 0, I like to call it, because it's a test to see if this is a thing we want to do more, and more. All right, streamers of the roundtable, assemble.
Assembled.
Do you actually like the term roundtable? Does that work in English for you? Do you know what the roundtable is?
Yeah, pretty much.
Where the mythology comes from?
Correct.
Because it's always like in Germany, it's actually not a roundtable. It's called a Tafelrunde. A Tafelrunde, where the knights do assemble around. Why does Fever have a suit on? Fever, why do you have a suit on?
Oh, it's a long story. Long story short is I started to produce my own tournaments and want to give them an extra flavor and just suit up for casting them. And then it's more like my marketing sign for my stream that I'm streaming in a suit.
Oh, it seems clammy. Be a bit warm.
If the suit is really comfortable, the only problem is when it's getting really hot.
The problem is what people
Germany.
don't understand, that if you feel comfortable in suits, it's like wearing sweatpants in suits, but wearing a suit.
I guess I've never had a suit fitted neither, so I'm a bit weird shaped.
Yeah,
so
exactly. You need a fitted suit, and then that's wearing like sweatpants because it's so comfortable. Okay, well, welcome to Mr. Schnitz and Mr. Feva. As we heard, Feva is a 5-year broadcaster already. He actually does have viewers in his chat, whoop whoop, that do talk with him. But we have Schnitz too. Schnitz is actually he's not new to streaming, but he's a new streamer.
Correct. 60 days today, actually. 60 streams, sorry.
But he's been having a lot to do with streams and streaming and stuff already. He's actually the guy that built my PC up.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
the legend.
And that was a lot of effort and a lot of overtime.
It was a month of work.
It was indeed.
So what we're going to talk about, boys, we're going to wrap the topic up once again. So welcome to the Streamer Roundtable. First and foremost, thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
We're going to talk about the zero viewer problematic. It's going to be very interesting because we have the new streamer and the person that actually has people in chat. Maybe they don't always talk. What is the zero viewer problematic? That's pretty much... What if your chat just stops moving? What if no one is there? What if you're a new streamer and who do you talk to? How do you act? How do you behave? What do you do? And most important, what does that actually do with this here? When you're sitting there and playing games and you're just like, oh, wow. I mean, why did I even press the live button?
Well, usually I'd just get naked, but it's against Twitch policy.
That's just like, oh, no one is here.
Find another way now.
Oh, love it. No problems. No, well, let's start with Schnitz. You know, you started streaming recently.
Yes.
And you started with 0 viewers.
Yeah, it's still kind of like that, but yeah, 0 viewers.
So who was the first person up here?
Me. No, my partner. She was looking and helping me out, and then there's a few people I used to work with who jump on occasionally, who sort of know what they're doing and so on, and they're just there to interact with. It's good when you have a, let's say, friendly character, friendly face. For me, anyway.
So what do you say when you start streaming and when you're looking there and you're kind of like, you know, you're just playing games, having a friend, your mom, your sister, your brother, your girlfriend, boyfriend, if it's your cat that's sitting on a PC and just randomly dropping a, hi, what game is this? Or something, helps tremendously.
It does help. I mean, there's moments of demotivation. So you've got to be a special kind of character, I find, to be sat in a situation where you're actively talking to no one, but you've got to also be engaging and be ready to talk to someone in case someone comes in at that moment. Because the last thing you want to do is get 1 or 2 viewers and then you just sat there going, do you get what I mean? That's the sort of...
So as you already said, sometimes it takes a mental toll on you to have 0 viewers.
Definitely. And I'm the kind of character where I have really good mental stability, I'd suggest. Like, it's very rare I get affected by stuff. But when you just sat there effectively streaming to what you believe is no one, it's hard to put on a show for no one. Or else you're just sort of dancing in the mirror. Ah.
What game have you been playing?
Variations. So I've been jumping across from indie games like The Forest and so on, where I can actually just be invested in the game, and it keeps me sort of role playing, if that makes sense. And then, like, on the other hand, I've been doing some Warzone just to get in with a few friends on lunch breaks and so on. But yeah,
I assume the hardest part is when you're pulling an intense game mode and you're just like, who saw that?
Yeah.
And you're like, no one.
Exactly, yeah. So I've just got that. I think I told you in chat earlier on. I've got my first ever solo win on Warzone. I was like, look at the chat, and it's like 2 viewers, and I know one of them's me. So I'm just like, no. But yeah, it's good. It's a process, isn't it?
Did it ever make you want to stop the stream for the day?
Yes, always.
Is it like a daily, like not a daily struggle, because you start your stream, you're motivated, you're excited, but then it's like you get your first win in, and or you get your first good play, no one is responding. You get your second good play, no one is responding, and on the third one, it's like, okay, I'm done. That's the stream for today.
Yeah, I mean, I'd imagine it for people who have viewers, it then becomes a routine and a job. For me, what I'm trying to do is I get up in the morning and I'm like, yes, today I'm going to stream, and then I sit down and then I'm just sat gaming anyway. But I think, like you said the other day, if you're going to game anyway, why not just broadcast it? If someone comes in, then you're actively going to be producing content. So that's sort of the mentality I'm going in with. So you've helped me a bit there with the mental game, but it's difficult.
Absolutely. We're going to dive more into that, but now we're going to have Feva, who has viewers talking to him, but is it a constant flow?
In Dota, no. I even see some bigger Dota streamers. I guess it's a game problem, for example.
Okay.
Because of so many people just watching the game and the flow of the game, because the rounds are so long. So one Dota round is 1 hour, most likely. And there are phases in the game. No one is talking. More or less, I am the only person talking, of course, but not in the chat.
I think for Dota, it's also, as you say, a game problem, but it's like, what do you talk about? Like everyone knows you're going to buy that item, you're going to push that lane, you're going to farm this CS for 15 minutes now. Like, okay, maybe you're going to get a kill. That's a talk moment, but where does Dota have talk moments?
No, I'm constantly talking with myself, I guess. So I'm constantly saying, oh, I should gonna do this now. It's more like giving yourself and reputation to say, oh, I have to do this. I have to do this. And I even play better sometimes with the stream on than without it, because I remind myself to play good, because I know this is the right move right now.
Yeah.
And when I'm not telling myself that it's the right move, I forget it. I don't know why, but sometimes this happens.
This is
a bit like... Sorry.
Yes. No, Schnitz, you go.
Is it a bit like, if I don't do it this way, then there's people who are going to be like, hey, you should have done it that way. So you're like, I'm sorry. A bit like that. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, sometimes it's just like finding excuses to people. They say, yo, dude, you did it wrong or something. And you do it forward before the people even can say something to you. You explain it, why you didn't it that way or something like this.
Yeah.
And it's also a great way to build up a show while nothing is happening, because even if you have 0 viewers, this is basic training for a streamer. Being able to verbalize your thoughts and what you're doing. Like, I'm going to play Rubik, and I'm going to be doing this build. I'm going to go bottom lane. I'm going to buy this stuff. And this is all anchor points for your community to chip in. It's like, I'm going to do this build. And if someone is in the chat, if no one is in the chat, you're still going to talk about it because it's your own mental thoughts. But if someone is in the chat, that's this hook point. It's like, why are you going for this build? Why are you doing this? Are you stupid?
And then you can always, in my case, I can always argument then with, I have 1,800 games on this one hero. So sometimes I know what I'm doing.
And then there's that guy in chat who has 2,500 games on that hero.
No.
It's like, listen to me.
This is the ranked mode problem, I say. Because there's always you have someone he is in rank probably higher than you in the chat, and always saying that's wrong what you think.
But here we have an interesting thing. So we have like some viewers in the chat and some chat flow. Then we have actual more viewer numbers in the chat. So what's like your average viewer number that you're having up and down bouncing?
I am around 70 to 150 or something.
Okay. And Schnitz, we have like 4 to 10.
My average is about 3.6 according to Twitch.
Thank you, Twitch.
Yeah.
So, and now it's like the question. So obviously if you have 3.6 viewers in the chat, you're going to be like, okay, I'm not going to expect them to talk constantly because they are 3.6 people. And then you're just going to sit there, you stare at this red number, if you even stare at it, obviously. And you're like, oh, that's 100 people in here. And I just did the craziest play in the world. And where are these people?
It is exactly something you have in. I have sometimes because I don't see the viewer numbers, so I'm not showing them. And if I get a good play in, what happens sometimes
every now and then,
often, and then I'm thinking, okay, chat is not responding. There must be no people right now. And then I'm looking, 150. What? So like, what? Why? How? Where?
What are you doing?
What are you?
Maybe they're just so engaged in the content. They're just like, I can't take my eyes off the screen. Yeah,
that's true. A lot of people I know from my viewers, they're watching over TV or stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they have no possibility to chat.
Mm-hmm.
Which is also important to learn as a streamer. You have to know that one viewer doesn't mean one viewer with mouse and keyboard. It's most likely someone on his mobile phone, tablet, Xbox, PS4, and we all know how much pain it is to open the freaking chat and then like starting like hi, and then let's try writing out Schnitz Central, and you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna stop halfway and I'm not gonna type this out right now.
That's true.
Yeah, that's very
Totally true.
So obviously the first step is, I think Schnitz, you don't have viewer numbers activated too, right?
What do you mean? Like,
do you have while you're streaming? Do you have the viewer numbers at any time of the day?
Yeah, but it's on my stream deck at the top right. I don't rarely look at it, but it is there.
And Favor, you?
I have it on the second monitor, but I don't show it. So I have no clue. I only know my numbers on maybe the next day when I'm off onto it that I want to check it. Last weeks I never checked it, to be honest. Only Dota LAN when I casted, I checked the viewer numbers afterwards because of the sponsor stuff. But yeah, for me it's part-time now. It's not full-time streaming, and I'm happy if someone is here, and it's just fine for me.
I think it's very important to actually get rid of that. You don't need to see viewer numbers, because obviously for your day-by-day entertainment, for yourself, for your own fun, that number is only a psychological mess with you factor, then it's actually a booster. The worst problem is in this, if Schnitz actually gets 50 viewers straight away, he's going to be happy. But if that drops down back to 5, that stream is done for the day. Just like, okay, so you get a host, man. You go up by 150 viewers. You see all these people in chat. Some are talking. And then 30 minutes later, because that's how hosts sometimes work and how it is, you drop from 100 viewers down to 5. And if you never saw that number, it's never going to take a psychological toll on you. But if you saw that number live, you're going to just turn off. Might it not be that you turn off the stream straight away, but it's definitely a mood killer for every streamer.
Yeah, it changes the dynamic of what you think's going on, because it could sort of offer that sort of perception that maybe you're not good enough because they've come in and they don't want to stay. Is that what you mean? So
that is a very good point. It's actually not what I meant, but that's a very fair point. It's often, the surprising thing is, it's often that a lot of people also watch on mobile phone and it says 100 viewer rate over, but Xbox doesn't get rate over. PS4 actually doesn't get rated over. It's mostly it's mostly PC, and only mobile phone gets rated over. So if it says 1,000 viewers rating, it's most likely the reality is 500, and the reality is actually 200.
I didn't know that.
That's a lot of misunderstanding, because certain devices can't get forced, and especially if they have their permissions set and other things that they actually don't realistically get over.
That's nice to know.
Yeah, that's a little on the side note, my friends.
Well, we're all here on the round table.
So we had Faber already what he's doing. He's like talking his thoughts. What do you do, even if no one is there, if you don't engage with people, Schnitz?
I try and apply what you've just been saying, but it's easier said than done. So like, I have all the gear and no idea, as a quote for you. That's how it is. I mean, I've spent, must be about £10,000, and you know my history. I've worked with 2 computer companies, so I've had discounts. I've got loads of contacts and loads of different places to help me do this. I mean, and then I'm sat here like, I've got everything. Why is this not enough? And it's like, well, it is enough. You need to give it time, and then obviously you need to understand that it's not going to just be an overnight thing. And you don't really want an overnight thing, do you? You want to grow with your viewership. That's how I want it to work out. And they're my sort of thoughts on it. If it does or doesn't happen, at the minimum, I'll try to complete all my games and do the best I can.
Well, that's a good point. You know, at least you have a drive. You have this, I want to complete a game. So it doesn't matter if someone has watched it or if someone doesn't have watched it, but I at least want to beat Ghost of Tsushima. And if someone enjoys that journey with me, hey, that's brilliant. But I'll have beaten the game at the end of the day, and that's like your happiness goal for the week, pretty much.
It's like short, achievable goals rather than like really long, big goals, because then you're more likely to have a higher success rate of achieving them. Like if you aim for short-term goals, if you aim for like one massive one, it's like, by next month I want to have 1,000 followers, and you're like, oh, that's a bit of a you're gonna
away.
Yeah.
So setting yourself realistic goals definitely helps with the zero viewer problematic in many ways, because you're not just like, I'm actually expecting people to come. It's more like I'm expecting no one to come is also bad expectations, but it's more like I'm expecting to have fun today.
Yeah, I try to do that, but yeah,
it's
obviously
hard.
You guys have a viewership, so it's good to have my insight, I guess, isn't it? Because a lot of people will relate to me.
Oh, I remember my times back then when I had 0 viewers. I was playing Hearthstone. And as Fiva says, the best thing I did was just like, oh, wow, I have these 8 cards into my hand. That's bad. And if I play this one now, I'll have a 23% chance of losing. Right. So I'll probably just go for that. And that was my day-by-day practice, as Fiva says, just training your own mind, just internalizing your thoughts and getting that out there, no matter who listens to it. Just, free speech, because how are you going to create a highlight on a video where no one talked? Like, now imagine you want to make a YouTube video or you want to make a highlight reel and there's no voice.
Yeah.
Or the voice got muted afterwards and oh no.
But we have also some very interesting thing here, because Faber, when you play Dota, you're mostly alone, right?
Yes, but not anymore. I started a side project where I built up a small team for some smaller qualifiers and stuff like this. But yes, most likely I'm alone.
But do you duo often, or do you really mostly go for solo queue in Dota then?
I have the experience that my viewership most likely enjoying my solo queue experience, because solo queue is something special when you have 4 random dudes in your team. But yeah, duos is sometime coming more and more into play, because for me it's way easier. One thing is I have no swearing or something on the stream, or I don't. And
if you have a duo and he's swearing, and then that might kill the vibe.
That's a problem for me personally, and so it's not always easy to find dual partners, especially in Dota.
So the point where we're going to get to is, Schnitz, I know, plays some Warzone, and he doesn't always play that alone. You have some buddies you play Warzone with too, right?
I do indeed, yes.
Is it for you easier on a streaming day when you're playing with buddies to have a constant flow of conversation pretty much going on stream because you're having pretty much people to talk to there already by nature?
It's a difficult one. Yes, the answer is yes, but there's also factors that lead into that. So when I play solo, when I stream solo, I try and encapsulate the idea that I am alone, but it doesn't mean I have to be lonely. So I'll start to remark to myself. So I'll be like, "Oh, why did you do that? I don't know why I did that. Oh, you're so stupid." Like
yes, I see what you're doing. The internalizing thoughts topic again.
Yeah, but it's like when you invited me to play with you the other day, what I didn't want to do was sort of it completely go overboard, like on the mic. That's why I stayed as quiet as I could, because I didn't want to interrupt the flow of the stream. And maybe that's why you have push to talk and so on and learning. That's a thing. But I just wanted to make sure that, I wasn't annoying and playful. But it helps me having friends there that I can banter with, because you can give them abuse and then take the abuse and blah, 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 blah. But,
and especially it shows off a lot of personality of the streamer, because mostly the interaction with other people. I mean, sure, the interaction with the chat shows a lot of you, but also the interaction, how do you deal life with other people? How do you react to things? That shows so much of your personality. Are you the type for jokes? Are you the type for banter? Do you get easily annoyed? Which is not bad, it's part of the show, because if you get easily annoyed, there's that one viewer that gets easily annoyed too, and he's just like, that's me.
Yeah, exactly.
I can feel it.
Also,
there was one thing we talked about earlier.
Yes.
And with the probability or the problem when you have 50 viewers and going down to 5 again, that's more something like I have mentioned where I was dropping my viewership because I cut it streaming time because I got work to do.
Yes.
So it's only part-time for me, and that was for 1 year or a half and a year around a full-time streamer with 50 hours per week or something like this. And they are got a higher viewer count, of course. And this was a lowering process because I got less streaming time.
Yes.
And so it's always is as well a mental challenge to just accept it and know it's still good what you're doing. But
did you have days where you're like gonna be, is it even worth it? Like now I have my job, I'm making my money, streaming it. I still love gaming, but now I lost my viewership. Like, do I even press going live now?
It's more like this, that you'll be Dankbarkeit in English. It's
thankfulness,
something like this, that you're thankful for the people they are still here and still supporting you and stuff like this, because it's still a great content. You think, of course, you produce to people.
Number one thing, believe in your own content, or don't press the start. If you don't believe in your own content, no matter how many viewers, don't press the start streaming button.
I tell you, if I can just jump in there, I tell you something I don't want to do as well. I don't want to be known for giveaways whilst I'm not actually known for getting a decent amount of viewers, because I don't want to have the expectation that when you come to the stream, you're coming to do the giveaways. I mean, like I say, I've been offered PCs to give away just because of who I am rather than what I have in viewership. And it's like, I don't know what the right thing to do is. I'm sat there thinking, should I say, here's a £2,000 PC to give away, and after about 2 or 3 weeks of that, will all my viewership just drop again? And is it going to be worth it?
And do you then still want to stream because you feel pressure to do it again and again? Yeah. And that's how streamers actually get into debt. This is not even a freaking joke, because that's how streamers take credit cards and then buy things they actually can't afford and then keep doing the giveaways. The Mr. Beast thingy, pretty much, right? Just spending money to make money until you reach the point where it's worth it or where you're broke.
Yeah, and it's whether you want to be known for that, isn't it? Or whether you want to be known for good quality content or a good character. So it's a risk, because there is easy outs, but it's not necessarily the best thing in the long run. Might not be the easiest thing in the short run, or vice versa. So that's how I sort of see it, if that makes sense.
That's also a very legit point from the chat here, that giveaways don't build communities. Giveaways might build viewers, and those viewers might turn into communities. That's a lot of might, but technically a giveaway doesn't build a community. You can obviously build a giveaway community, but that's exactly what it is.
A giveaway should be a reward for your pre-standing community, I believe. But yeah,
That's a very well said thing. Obviously, let's say you really have 0 viewers and you feel like you have everything set up and you wanna boost your thing. Yes, you can give something away. But as you say, you have to do this with the right expectation in mind. So is it worth it to give a $2,000 PC away to a 4-viewer stream? Probably not. Is it worth it to do a headset for a month? Yes. Or might it be even a 10-year Steam gift card? Yes. Because that's like, you kind of have the relation to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a growing mechanism, more or less.
Or
like
growing/rewarding mechanism, pretty much.
Yeah.
You might disagree with me, but I think affiliate shouldn't be a thing. Because although
what?
Because, no. Let me just hot topic or not. It shouldn't really be a thing. I think the only thing you should go for is partner. I know it. A lot of people get a lot of sense of fulfillment from affiliate, but I think it's you get average 3 viewers, then you become affiliate, and it's like, okay, you're in the next step. It's an achievement, and that's how they've set that mechanism up. But it's like, I don't know. I think it's quite misleading for some people as well. I don't like having I like having subscriptions, but I don't actively go, subscribe to my channel, because I've got nothing to give back, and I'm not.
You have hello.
I know, but I'm not ready for it yet. Does that make sense?
It makes absolutely sense, and it's the main point why affiliates don't make sense to a certain degree. Because the thing is, you start a stream, you have 0 viewers, you get 3 viewers, as you say. That's your mom, your dad, and your cat. You get you get them constantly. I mean, you have 3 PCs, they watch at work, you get affiliate. Then obviously every time they don't watch, you're back to 0 viewers. It takes your mental toll. It will take the mental toll. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, as soon as you have affiliate, people start thinking about, how do I monetize my channel? But that's the wrong thought, because the thought is, how do I build a community? And a community monetizes itself to a certain degree in the long run. But you're not here to actually, you're building a community. You're not monetizing a community. So that's like the problem that a lot of people get with affiliate. They're like, oh, I have it now. I have to monetize. This makes no sense, but hey, let's just do it.
Yeah, that's sort of what I meant. I guess you've explained it better than I did, but it is the point. It's it's an achievement to get affiliate, but it sort of changes your mindset, because you're like you say, oh, I can start making money now, but realistically, you can't. It's you need to build up the community to obviously provide content for it. That's what you've got to be. But that's my opinion of it.
It's like the same feeling when I turned partner, 3 years ago or something. It's like, yes, partner, everything grows now even better. And it's no, everything stays the same. There's no difference.
A check mark doesn't change anything in that regard. Here comes the more interesting question, Feva. Did you feel like you don't deserve your partner after going from full-time to part-time, dropping viewership, and going down, maybe not having a chat that moves sometimes, sitting there and being like, hey, do I actually deserve being a Twitch partner at this point anymore?
The good thing is, I earned my partner 2 months or 3 months before the affiliate program was started. So one of the last old partners, they say. And there were no clear guidelines between how many viewership you have to be a partner. There was number around 500 average viewership and stuff like this. And nowadays it's 75.
85.
85? They raised it. Okay. Nice to know.
I have the achievement goals to my left. It's like, oh my God, you've had...
But obviously these 85 viewers, they're also it's just a number. It means nothing. It's like your channel is still being evaluated on a complete different basis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just one thing about evaluation. And I think it's fine for me. I'm still there in content producing, and my own content is great, of course. I'm wearing a suit, okay? That's can't be better. And yes, I still believe it's fine for me to be partner.
Which is obviously okay, because you freaking earned it. I mean, there's obviously just the mental toll it takes to start. Not only that you lost viewership, you're like, do I even, deserve what I have built up? Is it old golds measure up for the nowadays times? The answer is yes, because you freaking earned it. Because you can't guarantee for viewership. I mean, we can make the best content we want, but you cannot guarantee that anyone watches it. You can't force someone, apart by giving away $2,000 PC.
Watch this now. $2,000.
Yeah, that, as stupid as it sounds, but that's how you can enforce viewership, pretty much. So yeah, you can't, like, you can do the best you can. Obviously, day by day basis, even if it's 0 viewers, 1 viewer, 2 viewer, because that's the important thing. You're gonna make the best content you can, and you're gonna make the content you believe in. And if you don't feel like you got it today, that's okay. That's actually fine. Then come back tomorrow with a new, fresh idea.
That's the thing with the fresh idea, though. Do you believe that originality is key? Do you believe that it's like Dr. Disrespect? Do you believe that he had an original idea with wearing the wig and the mustache and having that persona?
The stash is real. It's important.
Yeah, now it's real.
But wait a second. Before you go on with this talk, let me quickly tell you why Dr. Disrespect got banned from Twitch. Good. Now you can. Now you can go on.
Yeah, it's just like it's hard to come up with an original idea as well. So like the best thing in my opinion would be to find something that's not currently being hit in the sense of what people want to see. So like come up with an idea where I wear a banana on my head or something. Do you get what I mean? And it's not necessarily
that's the whole like that's the whole topic of finding your niche, finding your brand. That's a whole interesting new topic to actually dive down into, to open up, that we're also going to have on here on the streamer roundtable. Yes, you go. Because finding a niche is the most important topic as a streamer, which is also very tightly tied into the zero viewer problematic, because if you're still struggling to find your niche, that is obviously the reason why you actually have 0 viewers, because you don't know who are you. Who's Feva? He's making Dota content. He's a great caster. He does tournaments too. He has this pet project where he invites people. You know, like he has a whole, like, if I ask him, Feva, what's your stream? He's gonna be like, boom, that's me, bitches.
a lot of stuff. Yes.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's like you're doing something for a community. Like when for the Dota scene, for example, it was in the beginning. Like, so yeah, there's a German Dota scene, but there are not so many streamers around, and there are no tournaments. There are no competition. There are no fun content in streaming wise sentence. And it was totally not expected from me. I just want to go ahead and say, hey, I want to do a fun 1v1 tournament just for fun. I did it with PowerPoint presentation and streamed the PowerPoint presentation with the tournament grid in it and stuff like this. And then I got in my head some weird ideas like, no, we don't play same hero versus each other like every esport tournament. No, we have a hero pool and only lady heroes can pick, and only guys with a beard can pick, and stuff like this. So,
and that's a big niche already.
Yeah, that's something no one has seen before.
And it sounds like very simple thing, but the simple things are the most beautiful things. Because you don't need to you don't need to be crazy. Like, as you say, you don't need to put on a wig and glasses and start yelling at people. But you can do it. But sometimes it's as simple things as saying, hey, I only play characters with a beard. That's one thing. I mean, we have that in League of Legends. There are people that play Rengar for the past 8 years, and they have never played anything different, feelingly. Or Poppy or Teemo Main. Oh God, Teemo Main. But yeah, there are people like literally that go down on something like that and never have done ever something different. And that's like then also a niche, obviously. And a niche to find is very important to then grow out of also, or grow as a streamer and grow into, like, grow a community to the niche.
It makes sense, yeah. It does.
Fully agree.
We're here to make sense.
Yeah.
And now I forget what point I was leading to. I was leading I was leading the whole time somewhere. I had another question for Feva now, interestingly enough. So, okay, Feva, you have a job, right?
Yes. I have a job.
Congratulations in these trying
Thank you very
Corona
much.
times to have
You
a job.
as well.
It's great. But you were a full-time streamer before.
Yes.
Was the like now we have the difference? You were a full-time streamer and you're someone that has an income. So was the mental toll higher with less viewers, less chat on a daily basis as a full-time streamer than it is when you now stream for part-time fun? Obviously, you want to do your tournaments where you're like very engaged, but technically now you can just turn it off whenever you feel like it. Like you could just leave here and go away because you you don't want to do this anymore because you have a job.
Yeah, I have a job really related to streaming, so that's a good part for me. But it feels safer to know I'm not. Oh, what is the word for? I'm not be owned by the stream, so I'm not.
That's a very good word. You're not owned by the stream, exactly.
Yeah, I'm not owned by it because of I have to do it. So like it feels a bit freer. You can do it when you have fun on it. You don't have. I more or less skipped a bit my schedule in the last half of a year.
What?
Yeah, I skipped my schedule away. It was daily base, and now I have, you know it already. I have a wife.
What? A gamer with a wife?
Yeah, we're becoming a child. I'm married, and all this stuff. Crazy, I know, and this takes time for me as well.
So you're saying
streaming.
you actually enjoy streaming now more as you don't do it full time?
Sometimes yes.
Do you miss being full-time streamer?
Also sometimes yes. But my job, my job is awesome because I doing it from home. So I have home office for 2 years now, and it's a great one. I'm talking to people and talking about all this stuff here, more or less, about streaming, about numbers, about sponsorships and stuff like this. So I'm pretty close to the scene, only in another direction. And it's nice to always having a talk like, yeah, I started as a streamer and now I'm here. And yeah, it's always a basement to talk with people, more or less.
I like the nice thing is to actually be able to still use the topic for your job and talk about your passion. I mean, you're in the lucky position that you can actually talk about your passion. So working doesn't feel like working. You're actually still streaming, kind of. Just
it's no working. For example,
just on a business side, you're talking about streaming.
Sorry, last sentence.
All good. We have that covered. Perfect. Who are the guys next to Mutz? Just popped in. So we have again. We're gonna have it short. We have Mr. Feva here, who's a part-time broadcaster working for a company that does esports stuff and has an esports calendar and other shenanigans.
Yeah, more
analytics
now, but
and works together with a lot of teams all around Germany, esports teams. And then we have Mr. Schnitz Central, who's a new growing streamer because there are no smaller streamers. They're only growing streamers. Who's an amazing person who used to work for AWDIT and actually built my computer and now is trying himself in the streaming business. These are my two amazing guests. And we've been talking with them about our zero viewer problematic, what it does to streamers, what it does to here. And the most important part is now I've kindly figured out what I wanted to talk about. Schnitz, you first. Do you prepare topics before the stream?
No, not at all. Never been good at that. I used to do a lot of stage events and I was good on camera and so on. And I'd always try and do things in one take so then I could, because I'm quite excitable. So when I'm in the stream, I feel like if I actively seek to prepare topics, it puts me off. But that's just an individual thing. Are you going to tell me that I need to? I'm
not going to say I need to. You need to, but let's say you have zero viewers actually sitting there, or for Feva now, he has one of these moments where he's just playing his round, everything is going good, and chat doesn't move. Nothing. Like you look at the chat 5 minutes later, nothing happened. And you just like, hey, there's so many good things. And then they're like, what am I going to talk about? Am I going to whip out the, hey, Have you not heard about the latest trailer for Ghost of Tsushima yet?
Mm-hmm.
Or, hey, have you heard about... shall I tell you why Dr. Disrespect get banned from Twitch? So, we're not talking about obviously sitting there with a list of 10 points where it's like, COVID, Trump, re-election 2020, the East African war crimes from 1953. World War. I don't know. You're just having like your set of topics. No, it's more about things that happen in life right now, things that happen in gaming. I mean, this is part of our job, actually. This is part of like if you're excited about streaming. I mean, some streamers are actually not excited about like the metadata, but it's never hurts to know things that are going on and be able to just weave them into your broadcast and be like, latest patches, as you say. Have you seen the trailer on Nick Merck's chat? Let me show you. Even like, do you do this if no one is there? Schnitz, do you say, let me show you something?
Yeah, occasionally, yeah. I mean, I have you, who's my follower thing, and I have another guy called Valkyr, and I tend to, when I'm sat there just looking for a moment of inspiration, I'll sort of go over, interact with the chat whilst I'm streaming, and then go, okay, now I'm going to get back to it. And it's sort of like a break, but then someone else provides it's like an advert. So I can go off and get my bearings and then come back.
But you can pretty much also just watch a trailer. Like, hey, let's watch a trailer. Would you say, I'm going to watch a trailer, or would you say, let's watch a trailer together, despite no one being there?
It's a good question. I don't really know. I just go, I'm going to do this now.
It's also very important to, despite anyone being there, to start a lingo of inclusion, because you're not watching this trailer alone, or you're not doing this alone. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be watching this.
Mm-hmm.
Even if no one is there, but if someone is actually there and he's sitting in the back, and I know you're sitting in the back, James, listen to me, you little. You're lurking right now, and that's super fine, because lurkers are the backbone of streaming, and you can't force anyone to chat. But the person that's in the back, that's lurking right now, he actually still wants to feel included. And a simple "we" does so much to people just sitting there, even if they're not talking, being like, we're doing something. And then that's why we're going down together, and that's why we're always dying together, because you don't die alone, and we're doing stupid things. I mean, sometimes you do stupid things, but actually we did this. God damn it, Chan, it's all your fault.
like you do a lot. Yeah.
Yes, it's always Chad's fault. It's very important to do that. Even if no one is there, it's Chad's fault. It's a lot, like, I hate to say it, because this is something, you sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it, in that term, when it comes down to 0 viewers. It's like you're putting on a show. Like, streaming is still putting on a show, despite being authentic. But you're still there to do something, to play games and make something more out of these games than they're just by nature. I mean, Feva's not just playing Dota. He's making like educational mentions, comedic mentions.
I believe this, yes.
I'll tell you what.
Then there are obviously streamers who can make every single thing funny. It doesn't matter what it is. And might it be just a leaf in the wind? It's a talent. That's your niche. But that you got to do that despite no one being there. I mean, you're not going to save your jokes for the most viewers. Obviously, it helps that someone is there to laugh, but you're still going to crack the jokes. As a practice.
The good part is you have to laugh on your own jokes.
Always.
Well, I do that anyway. Yeah, all the time.
If you're watching your clips from yourself, or I watched a PUBG clip from myself. I played PUBG when it was in beta, like now, and then I was watching it, and I was loving about myself, because it's exactly my humor, more or less. I'm hitting my own humor. That's funny.
And that's so important, because you're going to take your clip and you're going to put it on Instagram, and you're going to put it on Twitter, and you're going to put it on TikTok. And if you're just sitting there like a robot and you're actually not living yourself, you're not enjoying yourself, well, that clip is worthless. You can put that in the trash. It doesn't matter how good your shot was, how funny the moment was. If your reaction is not there, despite no one watching, yeah, in the bin with it. You're done.
Yeah.
That's like wasted content, more or less.
That's a good point.
It makes perfect sense, yeah.
I hate making perfect sense. Why does
Okay,
no one
you're
contradict me? You're wrong.
No,
This
there's no.
this is bullshit.
What do you
want
want to do? What are you going to say?
mean,
Your own content is trashy.
I can't disagree, can I? Because I'm in the zero viewer
There's
dynamic.
nothing wrong to actually criticize your own content, as you say.
Yeah, but not all the time.
Especially you get you get to watch your own content, try to improve your own content.
Yeah.
But the
Part
most
is improving is hard.
improving is hard, especially if you don't know what to improve. The problem probably for Schnitz also is, I have a question for you. Do you feel like you have to do daily something new? Because obviously maybe you didn't get a new follower yesterday. So do I have to do more today?
Definitely, yes. But I do tend to do what you were just talking about. So if I remember, so like I do like a 5-hour stream, and then I remember that I had a funny moment in the stream, I'll then go back after, search through the content and go, oh my God, that's so funny. And then I'll be like, oh, why didn't I left that much in the moment? But it's like...
Side note, comment, if you do that, you can record that too and take that clip of you watching your clip and then actually post that, because there's nothing wrong on reacting to your own content and laughing over your own content. That's actually pretty freaking goofy.
Right. That could be my niche. The thing I do.
Reacting to own content.
Right.
5 hours streaming and then reacting to the 5 hours streaming.
Yeah.
And then reacting to the reacting of the 5 hours streaming.
So, some people do nothing else than react to other people's content.
Yeah. That's what PewDiePie does that a lot now, doesn't he?
That is a very good question.
Yeah.
We should get PewDiePie right now. Let me call him on my phone, because I'm just gonna hit up my Swedish friend, and all Swedish people know each other. No problem. Good that we talked about that.
Straight in.
Also, here's a legit point from the chat too, because I'm so bad at writing in English, I'm quiet in the chat. That's also something. If you have that one viewer and he's sitting, would you look into your follower list, Schnitz? Would you look into your viewer list, and would you try talking to that viewer?
Yeah. I mean, it depends. It depends.
If he didn't talk first,
I don't want to out them, if that makes sense. I don't want to go, haha, I've caught you in my chat.
I did
and be like, you need to talk to me now. So I just leave them there and just talk to the chat as a standard thing. I don't tend to go, ha ha ha, you sneaky little bugger, I've got you.
We have another interesting point from the chat from Mr. Popke. He says, and this is pretty funny, and please, no one takes this personal right now. What bothers me is a new streamer with green screen, Shure SM7B, etc, etc. I feel uncomfortable when a small streamer has great hardware but zero content and zero personality. Do you ever feel like that you could offend someone with your hardware?
Probably, yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. But it's just so people would know. I mean, that's assuming I'm the person with zero personality as well.
I think it was a general statement.
Yeah, as a general thing. Assuming I'm not that kind of person, people don't know what I've done to earn this, and I've done a lot to earn this.
And what you have done before, especially, like, what if you're actually a musician? What if what if your wife works as a wedding singer and has all this equipment at home? Because why not?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot to do with lifestyle choice as well. So I don't, you're going to be offended now, Pony, off with you being German. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do anything like that. All I do is...
And that saves a lot of money.
It saves a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot. It saves a lot of money. And then that's what I invest into. I hope that something that'll bring me so much joy. And why wouldn't you do that? I climb and I stream. And they're the two things I do. It's quite brief.
Hi, Cad.
Cat.
Yeah.
So, that's like the same. So obviously, why would you buy a killer gaming PC? You're trash at games. Like that, it's pretty much the same thing. Obviously, if a new streamer wants to invest the money in the equipment, that's down to yourself. I mean, it's your money. You can do with it what you want. I think what Popke is saying is often that people expect great equipment to boost them straight away out of this zero viewer thing, Because obviously, I have a 2,000-year gaming PC. I have 8 screens. I have like fiber internet, and also I have a green screen. So obviously, I need to have 500 viewers when I'm straight up starting.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to start, I mean, if you can do that and it's at no extra cost, and you're not going to put yourself in debt or anything like that, then why wouldn't you do it? That's why I've done it, because I saved up, I got the money to one side, and I was like, listen, I'm either going to go all in or I'm going home in the sense of things. And I went, screw it, I'll go all in. I'll give it how many months I need to give it to see if it's something I actually want to do. And then I can't say I didn't try my best.
And then at the end of the day, you still have a gaming station. You still have you can start rapping if you want to. I mean, this microphone, Thriller, was recorded with a Shure SM7B. You can start your private home internet channel for radio entertainment. I mean, it's like this. Like, even if streaming doesn't work for you, this is not trash. This is real assets. This is an actual PC. You can sell that part by part. You can sell your monitors. You can sell this micro. I mean, it's not like this is just like
the money is not gone.
Exactly. Yeah. It's an investment. Yeah. Obviously, in terms of an investment, that's like, do you feel pressured now to have success because of the investment?
No, not at all. To be honest with you, a lot of it's to do with convenience. It's much easier to have everything already set up than it is to, like, if comparing me to a streamer who's in a similar position who has just a laptop and they're using a bed sheet rather than a green screen. I mean, like, this is the Elgato Space Saver.
Sponsored by Elgato. Hello, Elgato. Thank you.
Yeah. I can just move that out of the way, and that was worth the money for the convenience, so I can use the room around me. Whereas comparing me to someone who's used to using a bed sheet and everything, it doesn't make me better or them better. I'm a step ahead in the technology side of things, and that makes my life easier. Does that make sense? So I don't expect to achieve greatness. I'm like, oh, I have this, therefore give me everything.
Give me viewers, Twitch.
Yeah, it's just if you're gonna do something and you have the facility and ability to do it without putting yourself out, then you've got to do it. When I climb, buy the best shoes you can, because shoes are the difference between the grading. And like, you may not know that, you may know that, but it's like, it doesn't mean that because I bought what the world's renowned best boulderer uses, I'm going to be like him.
I'm instantly going to be able to boulder everything, but it makes your life easier.
Correct, yeah, and that's why I did it. And obviously, I didn't pay full price for any of my stuff because I paid mates rates because I used to work in the industry. So just take what you can, don't you?
So we have two very good questions to this topic now. And this is, I think, the one, how you drag yourself about the viewer. I mean, we talked about what's the mental toll. You know, sometimes you just want to turn your freaking PC off. Sometimes you don't feel like streaming. You're highly motivated, or you're highly getting like kicked in the balls straight away because that one viewer that had said hi actually never responded again, which is the hurtful feelings. Why did you leave me? What did I do to you? Is it my fault? First thing is
2 viewers, and then you get 3 viewers. Yes, someone says hi, and then it goes back down to 2 viewers. You're like, no.
First important thing, it's never your fault. But the question is, how do you get about achieving that snowball effect where the first few viewers that you randomly get can bring more and more? How did you feel, Feva, when the first viewers did come in? What did you do anything special, or did you just do your thing?
It's a long time ago, but I was not doing anything special in the right moment right away. Like we told before, I was the guy who is really calling out lurkers at the beginning of my streaming time. Like something like, oh, I know you are here.
Which can actually cost you viewers. Which
actually
can
responded to me.
Exactly. It's a two-sided blade. This is very important for every streamer, for every new streamer growing old. Calling out lurkers either works or it doesn't. It's a 50-50 chance because there's a reason why they lurk. And might it be because they don't want to talk? It's very inconvenient for them to talk. And some people have social anxieties and they're going to run from you. Mm-hmm. They're like, I just wanted to chill here. And he's talking to... Why is he talking to me?
Stop talking. But no, I'm just not reacting in another way at beginning of the streaming when there are more people. Of course, there are a bit another reaction from myself, more entertaining, probably more talky when I was on front page featured for tournaments, stuff like this. There I know, oh, I'm on the front page. I have now like 10 times the viewers I normally have.
So you gotta make something out of it.
I should be more engaging probably and just talking a bit more. But in the same time, this was the tournaments and I was able to talk way more because I was only talking. I was not playing myself. I was only watching. So
that's like the topic of
advantage.
Using your opportunity and making the best out of the opportunity that's given to you. Like when you get rated by someone and you get those 20 viewers more, you better whip up your A++ like content. Obviously, you don't have to like overdo it here. We're not talking about, but this is your chance pretty much. Don't get nervous. Do your thing. Do your content. And well, if you have a topic prepared, maybe not Second World War, but hey, I have all these cool Dota insights. I have some fancy educational Dota content that I've uploaded to my YouTube that I can recommend people to. You use your opportunity, make your luck work for you.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I can involve you into a thing that happened to me before I started streaming today, which just to answer the question of demotivation and things that can happen during the day. I woke up and I was like, oh, I'll have a nice hearty breakfast. So I had breakfast and then I came on and then started watching your channel and I was like, okay, I'll get myself psyched up. I was like, I'm ready. Click the stream button and it was like, oh, invalid credentials. I'm like, oh, for God's sake. So then I went through and it took me must have been an extra 4 or 5 minutes just to start the stream. And it was just like, when I got into it, I was already somewhat level of, not frustrated, but I didn't expect that to happen. So I was just like, okay, I'm on now, let's go. And then that was sort of, but then I got over it. And that's a little obstacle, but that's just a mind thing, isn't it?
But that's also something to talk about. I mean, talking about like getting topics in, and it's just like, even if no one's there, sorry for being late, team, been having technical issues. Twitch is stupid. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. So we have from Purple Tile also, is site advertising of your stream a good thing? Is it a good thing to unknowingly ask people to bring your friends to your stream? Have you ever done that? I mean, you have your girlfriend watching and you have colleagues watching.
What are friends? What are them?
Did you ever think asking your mom and dad and brothers and sisters and uncle third grade and that friend from school that you still have contact over Facebook to?
No, I only really have my dad and my brother, and our relationship is
complicated.
I know it's just like, oh, you again. It's like, oh, all right, I'll go then. So it's like it's a really banterific relationship.
But it's probably the starting viewership for everyone that actually has friends, family, relatives.
I avoided this.
You avoided that. Okay, interesting point. Yeah. So you started streaming and you didn't tell anyone.
Yeah, I didn't tell anyone. I don't want them to know, for example. Because they know, hey, you should study and not playing games. I'm studying.
Let me tell you a story that might explain this, if that's okay. So mine and my dad's relationship, and I don't want you to get the wrong idea. He's a fantastic bloke, and I feel like he's the best.
Hi, Dad.
He could be,
we love you.
Yeah, he's here now. No, he isn't here. He isn't here. I once fell off a motorbike, right? And I got knocked off. So a car tried to overtake me around a bend and clip my front tire, and I come off. And it was really dramatic crash, and my bike went over and everything. I got up and I was like shaking up. I was tearing up. I was like, so I rang my dad. And I was like, Dad, I've just been knocked off. He goes, oh, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm okay. And he goes, okay, can you get to where you're going, or is the bike in good condition? I was like, yeah, Dad. And he goes, okay, because I've just started a film. And I was like, okay. And he goes, I can come if you want, but it's you know what I mean? And I was like, No, it's all right, Dad. It's all right. I'll just drive there.
I'll survive somehow.
And he was like, "Good lad. See you later."
It's
Let me know
like,
when you're safe.
do I want to ask my dad now to daily turn the computer on to just sit there and watch?
I'm bleeding.
I mean, it's always like, it's probably still the first thing you actually do. You try to get that first viewer in, and might it only be really your girlfriend or one colleague from work that's daily saying hi.
Mm-hmm.
Even that one hi in the chat is something nice to see for everyone. And it's like the mental stability some of us need. I mean, some have a good mental fortitude, some have a bad mental fortitude. Generally, I'm saying people with a bad mental fortitude should maybe not start streaming, even though streaming can be a great help for mental health too. But at the same time, it can be a gigantic downer in both ways.
Yeah.
Because the mental strain streaming takes is mental. Huh? I did that. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have 1 viewer, 10, 500, 1,000, 2,000. If you do it full-time, part-time, or however you do it, you can actually be a complete mental stable person that has never experienced any issues, and streaming can ruin you.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds very sad, but you can have a stable viewership, and then your main game goes away. Counter-Strike streamers. They can't Counter-Strike gamble anymore. The gambling took off. There were people that went from 1,000 stable viewers down to 50 viewers. And I can tell you, these people were happy with their life. They were doing great. They were having an amazing job. They were making money. And they may have never faced any mental issue in their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly that happens. And they,
Yeah.
they're screwed over. Hardcore. And they're down back, even though being an absolute successful broadcaster, to, hey, I'm at the 0 viewer problematic again. I'm pretty much at 0.0. Is it even worth for me daily to stand up anymore?
I guess it's like I try and avoid, like I do go on Instagram and so on, but I feel like there's a sort of perception that people have. Like there's a section of people that go onto Instagram to realize in comparison how they think their life is worse off than the people they follow. And it's like, you do realize people on Instagram are showing their absolute best bits, and they're probably doing the same thing that you're doing. And that's like a thing I try not to do. So I'm just like, I try to be openly happy for them and what they have achieved, rather than going, oh, I wish my life was this good, or I wish that I had that, or I wish that I didn't. Do you get what I mean?
Yes.
That's the thing. I struggled with that for a while, until I realized what I was doing to myself. I was comparatively making myself feel worse as a human being.
which perfectly translate over to streaming. You go into this guy's channel, 50 viewers, the chat is popping. His audio sounds like he's speaking through a metal box. It scratches. You hear a beeping sound in the background constantly. And his camera is 480p. And you can barely see him. And still he has these 50 viewers that are super happy about him. And you're like, but I have all this technology. And suddenly you're actually the unhappiest person in the world, even though nothing happened. And you're going to consider in the morning if you even click the start streaming button. And that's daily, daily what you can look at when you're actually a streamer. And as you say, when you start comparing yourself to others. Because, again, you never know what the person actually did to get these 50 viewers.
It's very true. Yeah.
Might have found the perfect niche. Might have done a 2,000 euro PC giveaway. And the people actually stuck around. Or not. Like, that's the exact same thing. You can't never, and your personal journey on Twitch and as a broadcaster, compared to others.
I guess that this it's a life decision, not only for streaming. It's like we got this on, maybe you know the YouTube channel Kurzgesagt. I guess you know it.
Not yet, but go on.
What? Okay.
Also, Purple Tile, we're gonna have your question in a bit.
Nice little video last time about it, about thankfulness and how to make your own life happier in these times, because we have so much comparison in our system and our socializing system, and everyone lives the perfect life, and every time you see left and right the perfect life, everyone got married, got a child, has his house, perfect word, is fulfilled, and you even feel sadder and sadder about this because you see everyone else
else has it and you don't have it.
Yeah, everyone has success, and you feel your success is less worthy. And therefore, there's an own psychology behind it, and that's the whole psychology is going deep in the level of thankfulness. You can train your brain to be more thankful.
Absolutely.
And this is a great start to think of life and even of streaming. Be thankful what you have.
Isn't that how serotonin works in your brain? It sort of shows you in the hierarchical scale where you actually meet. So when you meet someone, you'll automatically review them and then be like, I fit here in this scale, or I fit here, or that's the thing that.
And that's the thing. You get one single viewer, even if he leaves, you can be thankful for that. You get one single follow. That's amazing. Yeah, sure, it wasn't 10, but it was 1. 1 is cool. So as you say, when it comes down to streaming, and it doesn't matter when it comes down to gaming, even if there's no one talking with you and you press the start streaming button, did you have a good time gaming today? Yes? Well, that was a good day. No matter if no one was watching, no matter if no one was chatting. Was someone chatting? Also a great day, but not better than the first one. Just a great day. You know, every day is unique for itself. Like as someone that streams, you have to live in the moment. You know, like yesterday was 100 subs. Today is 50. That means today was a shittier day than yesterday. Maybe for your bank account, obviously. But for you, the day is still singular scene, something you have to go for happiness-wise. Because else, you can never grow and you can never go forward. Someone in chat saying, I must admit I'm now a bit afraid of starting streaming. You should. It's very addictive. It's very fun. It's very mental challenging. It's a combination of the best and the worst in humanity and in yourself. And over the course, I mean, Schnitz is now 60 days at it, and Feva is 5 years in it. I'm 6 years in it. You learn so much about yourself as a person in this time, how you handle mental struggles, physical struggles of sitting multiple hours in a day, disappointments, success, the highs and the lows in life. You learn, you either learn all that stuff about yourself, or you're going to be depressed, as probably, I'm not going to lie, 50% of the streamers on Twitch are. Borderline, more or less.
Yeah. That's a great big problem at streaming.
Which sounds now very sad. I mean, a lot of people go in depressed because they're depressed, that's why they're streaming, or they get depressed because of streaming. This is something we laugh about, but even in my 6 years, I've been having like one burnout and 2 times close to a burnout in 6 years of streaming. But I'm here and I'm still cool. But that's like, it's normal, sadly.
Yeah.
I mean, not easy.
Not just in streaming, but like I haven't had any burnouts, or I've thankfully evaded such negative emotions as depression and so on. Like, thankfully, so I'm so lucky to be that sort of character, I guess. Or maybe I just have certain properties in my life that will allow me to sort of avoid it. But I suffered a lot when I was working full time because nothing was ever good enough, and I'm trying to bring the same mentality to streaming, and I don't know whether that's the right thing to do. So like when I worked for AWD, like doing Pony Off's PC around Christmas time, I didn't have anywhere to be because I made sure I didn't have anywhere to be. I didn't have anyone to see or anything like that. But that was perfect for me. Like a lot of people would probably review that and be like, oh, I feel really down because I've got no one to see at Christmas. But for me, it was, I have this goal, and I was working, I think 2 weeks in a row at 90 hours a week. And I was like, this is what I want. And this is the achievement. And when I did it, I was like, mate, this is such a relief. And then that was my short-term goal, and I nailed it. And it's like, for me, that helps me out. So I'm trying to, obviously, just to relate it back to streaming, I'm trying to do the same thing.
Short-term, achievable goals. Yeah. And might it just be, I want to beat this game today? That are actually goals that are not streaming related.
Yeah.
Because streaming related goals never work out. was like, the worst thing in the world is setting yourself a goal for followers, setting a goal for viewers, and so on. Because the flip side of that goal is always depression. The good side is absolute mental success. But the flip side of these goals will always be sadness. And why would you put a pending doom of sadness over yourself by putting your happiness down to a number, if that makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Why would you do that? Yeah, I agree.
That's a good question. So why would you? Why do so many streamers do it? Because people love achieving goals too. And it's also something, if you have a community that loves to achieve goals, if you're at a point where you're like, hey, let's get this done, it's something to hype up for. But obviously, it's still short-term achievable goals. If you have a 10 viewership community, you're going to be like, hey, I want to get, if you have 10 followers, you're going to be like, end of the month, I want to have 11 followers. And if you reach that at the 5th of the month already, you're a killer. Everything is overachieving for the rest of the month.
Yeah, short-term milestones.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the problem.
Realistic ones, though.
Realistic ones.
Yeah.
But there is exactly that's social problem, more or less. Again, that you have a point where you can say it's enough. You don't have to achieve the next goal. You can go on with what you already achieved. And this is a problem where you come into this depression thing when you see, oh, I cannot grow anymore. There's nothing to achieve next, or I failed in achieving the next milestone because of whatsoever.
Like what now, sort of a thing.
Yeah, and that's a thing. For a lot of people, there have to be a stop on the growing side, or on the mental side at least, that you say, we don't need to grow anymore. Even for companies, like, oh, we need to grow more and more and more, and sometimes there's no one buying it, and then you have again the problem with investing money and don't getting money out, and then you're getting bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So we have touched a lot of bases. We've covered a lot of topics, but I think I would like to know one thing. What one thing you would give a new streamer on hand, from your point of view, with your experience currently? Just one thing where you're saying, I mean, we covered everything. You could repeat something we had already. But before we do that, because this is a question chat has been burning now for ages now. Camera on or camera off? We have the new viewer experience, and we have the longer streamer experience. So Schnitz, you start first. Do you feel like camera on or off helps you more?
How can you encapsulate someone as a character or a person if you can't both see them and hear them? Because you need more than one sensory aspect, I believe. So camera on. How can you do that? Like you can sort of get a perception or a personality from someone with just the voice, and maybe their character doesn't complement that, maybe. But if you want to be seen as someone, you want to be seen as someone who people look to or like respond to or want to chat with, like facial expressions when you say stuff make the whole difference. You have an issue when if you reply to a text and then people go, did they mean that maliciously or did they mean that in a jokey way?
That's why I prefer voice messages. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Stupid
exactly
smileys
that.
at the end of stuff.
Exactly that. And it's like, if you want that sort of relationship to grow with your viewers, in my opinion, it's essential to have camera on to complement that.
Mr. Fever, do you want to chip in on that too?
Yes, for at least the facial expression thing is the best one. You explained everything perfectly, I guess. You need to, I think it's one way to have a more stable or closer growing in the community. So you feel way closer to a streamer when you see his face expressions.
But what about
when you only hear his voice?
The mystery of not knowing how the person actually looks, like the blind date experience, pretty much.
It would depend on what you're there for. Carry on. I apologize.
No problem. This is only. I have to guess. Of course, this is a good thing when the people in the head of the people, you always look better than you actually look. I'm sad, but it's like the way you look for everyone in the perfect way in their heads. And when they actually see you, you can't be the perfect one in their heads anymore.
And this is what I was leading to, because this is for everyone now. If you start with the camera on, you don't build unhealthy expectations. But if you start with the camera off, you will always build unhealthy expectations. And the thing is, as soon as you turn the camera ever on, you might actually lose viewers for that. As stupid as it sounds, but there's a world where people will not watch you anymore because you don't meet their expectations or what they saw in you before, what they saw in your voice. Because you can have the deepest voice in the world and look like Schnitz, and you're like, where does this voice come from? And either you're impressed by that, or you're like, fuck that guy. How is this even possible? I'm so mad at him right now that he has a very wide voice, but he weighs like 60 kilogram and is 180. How is that even remotely possible? It has happened in streaming. It will happen in streaming. And there are people that have lost thousands of viewers only for showing their face.
Right.
I guess you could, is it Tay Day, the guy who sang Chocolate Rain? His voice is immaculate, I believe. And he had his face instantly there, so I knew what to resemble it to.
Yes.
So that didn't have any, what you'd probably say is deceptional characteristics from the video, did it? You knew exactly what you were getting. Basically.
And you were impressed because how does this dude make that sound? Which obviously never stays in relation to each other because it is just what it is. You know, people have just their vocal cord length or vocal cord shortness and they make the sounds they make. Screw these people that have deep voices. God damn you, Favor.
I mean, with the camera thing as well. So if you actually watch back through my content, I have a nervous sort of, it's not nervous, it's like a twitch on Twitch. My nose sort of like shakes to one side, and it's a thing that I don't like about myself, but I don't necessarily care enough about it to not have a camera. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a typical question. What if you feel like you're ugly? Well, that's okay. There are other ugly people out there, too, that will sympathize with you. What if you feel like you're too beautiful to stream? Are you dumb? Good.
You're dumb.
It's like the thing. It's one step again. It's learning something about yourself and accepting yourself, obviously, as a person.
But that is not the worst part, like you said. But what is when you think you are beautiful? There it comes to the team of trolls. So many trolls out there, and
question is, would you feel like if you don't have a cam on that you have to do more because you're missing the physical entertainment aspect, that you verbally technically have to do more entertainment wise somehow because you're missing like one whole string of entertainment? I mean, you can do an epic break, but what are you doing in that epic break? It's just silent. You know, there's nothing happening. It's literally when you don't talk, there's just a screen and gameplay. But that's it.
You need a cam for your cat.
Exactly. If you have your face on, you at least you see focus. You see a tongue lolling out. I don't know what. You see the queer look that you have when you do your full focus face or whatsoever.
I'm for cat content. That's
absolutely.
I guess the question is for you as well, Ponyhoff. Do you think you would have been at least as half successful if you never had a face cam?
The problem is that I have such a great verbal expression. I think half my entertainment is just my face. The rest is completely unrelatable to that.
I think it's, but you show happiness. Like you show that visually.
Also, I will have to kick the chat now. If you say Moon now, if you say Lyric now, or Admiral Baru, you're an idiot because these are the exceptions to the rule. These people are unnaturally talented in other regards. Moon can make everything fun, and even if it's a leaf in the wind, Admiral Baru has the voice of an angel and great comedy. And if you're Lyric, I don't even know how Lyric got as big as he did, but he's a real OG from back in the days. And has a nice bro attitude, which actually helps a lot. But these examples don't use anything for this. Because if you're unnaturally talented in one direction, if you're Shroud and have the skill of an android, then you don't need personality anymore. You don't need to have personality. You can be a freaking rock. But you're so good that it doesn't matter, that people don't care if you're funny because you're so good.
Yeah, that's the thing about watching pro players, I guess. So one part of starting stream with a zero view account, you will not have a zero view account if you're known in a game as pro player. So you have already a community more or less built up because of, oh, they know he's playing for XYZ or don't care, and he's the one taking the good shots. And then even I've seen pro players, even in the Dota scene, streaming without voice. Yes,
and people still watch camera because they want to see skill.
Yeah, and that's one thing where I have to say that makes no sense. That's
well, it does make sense, but here comes the flip side problem again. What if you don't perform on one day? What if you actually get worse? What if you get bad? And the viewership starts going down, and you're desperately trying to improve, but you can't get better because maybe you lost your drive for the game, and you're slowly slipping into depression. Welcome. this yeah, and you get worse, and people keep dropping, and you try to get better, but you're not getting better. Everyone else gets better because they are farming 20 hours per day. You drop your job, you drop your social life, you start getting depressed.
I guess it's individualistic to a sense, isn't it? So like when you asked us the question, it was like, what do you think about cam or no cam? And it's like, for me, cam. It has to be cam. For me,
we have a triple on here, guys.
What I want to see when I see a streamer as well, as I want to watch the facial expressions. So individualistic, I guess.
Perfect. I love that we had that. But now after we wrap everything up and we get everything down, what is, Feva, your one thing that would you give someone on the hand that thinks about pressing the start streaming button for the first time? Doesn't need to be something like whatever comes in your mind. Don't break it. You don't need to be the word of wisdom now.
I guess for the very first time, just enjoy yourself while the streaming. So just have fun what you're doing. Press start when you know you're gonna have fun in this game. Try what you say. Talk to yourself a lot because you are the person you're streaming for. And the first time, maybe no loading screen on your first stream.
And no starting soon.
No starting soon at your first stream.
I can't relate to this because I had all them.
That's a whole topic, by the way, for own broadcast starting soon screens. I love that topic. But other day.
But yeah, have a lot of fun. Enjoy the stream. Enjoy your time doing what you maybe like to. When you get addicted to it, please take care about yourself because there are a lot of exits on this highway going into depression. And so
we sound so sad. We're just like, please keep away from streaming. Do yourself a favor. Don't start streaming.
Don't start streaming. The good thing, start streaming, but take care about yourself. Listen to your body. That's a point, I guess.
Mr. Schnitz.
I don't think I'm in a position to tell someone. I guess I'm in a good position for people who can relate to me, but I'm not really in a position of authority. I can't really say, hey, this is what needs to happen. So for me, make sure you are comfortable within yourself and make sure you start it for the right reasons. I think if you come into it thinking, I want to be rich and famous, I mean, that's the thing that you can have in the back of your mind, but I wouldn't suggest having the initial intent of going, I'm going to press this live button and in 3 or 4 weeks time, I'm going to be changing the world up. People are going to be flocking to me for advice and inspiration and stuff like that.
Which you can do, but then you should have a frigging amazing plan.
Yeah,
like you should have like analyzed 10 years of Twitch content, and you have a team of 20 people behind you, and you have this so well thought out that you're like, I'm the next big shit on Twitch.
Yeah.
Which obviously every 12-year-old kid thinks, and every 30-year-old very disillusional person. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Exactly that. I hope that answered the question for you anyway.
Absolutely. Well then, thank you, Mr. Faber. Thank you, Mr. Shan. I think we actually were a bit too long. I was planning for an hour, but we get lost on thought. I hope I didn't steal too much of your two's time. Thank you, community. Again, it's Twitch TV, Mr. Faber 05.
Thanks.
And Mr. Twitch TV Schnitz Central, we have commands there in the chat for that too. Give them a try too. Give them a go. Thank you too for finding your time and answering all the questions so good. I love that we have the perspective of the new streamer and the older streamer, the longer lasting streamer.
Hey, maybe I'll have a seat at the table sometime in the future if things change.
More topics to come where more people are always ready to get back involved, especially technology questions. We know the Schnitz knows it all. So, Thank you for having time. Thank you for being here at the Streamer Roundtable. I wish you both a great good night.
I'll see you later. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, team. That was our very first podcast. I don't know. I think we get in between a bit lost. We get in between a bit away from the zero viewer problematic. But all in all, I think we covered all the bases. We maybe haven't given anyone like a real, what am I supposed to do? I'm dying here. But I think we gave everyone a good insight on the struggles, what's happening in and around, some maybe insights from new streamers and old streamers. All in all, I think that was a good episode 0. There's definitely a lot to improve from this on out. Thank you for everyone that had questions too, and that was chipping in. Obviously, sorry for everyone that I couldn't answer your questions. Like we have a certain thing we're going down to. So obviously we had today the zero viewer problematic, but we're gonna have different topics. Like we're gonna have how do I find my niche on Twitch, branding on Twitch, overlays, what to look out for, role play. I really want to invite GTA role players and other gamers and like see the diversity. Like, well, what's the vibe with role playing as someone who's actually never done it, and have some talk from them happening, and also the mental struggle as a role player, because I find that really, really interesting. If you have any ideas for topics, guys, if you have anything like you would love to see being talked about too on stream, there's a whole channel for that on Discord, the Streamer Roundtable Discord, where you can talk about. Thanks for listening to the whole episode of the Streamer Roundtable, our very first one. I hope you enjoyed it and it was a good journey. We could help you and give you some insights on the zero viewer problematic, on some meta stuff about streaming, some mental topics for new, beginning, veteran broadcasters all around the globe. The next episode is going to be coming in around 2 weeks. The topic is unknown yet. It's always going to be a surprise. Definitely check on discord.gg/ponyhoff. There is a whole channel just dedicated really to the Streamer Roundtable. It's the Streamer Roundtable Discord, where you can check in for the new topic, where you can sign up as a broadcaster yourself to join for the new topic then, if you think you're fitting to that. Have a wonderful good day. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hopefully enjoying the Streamer Roundtable. I'm out. Have a good one.